Did you know Mamoswine can single-handedly disrupt entire enemy teams with its ice and stomps? This tanky beast isn't just about defense, it's a game-changer in the right hands. But what happens when this unstoppable force charges straight into the enemy team, freezing everything in its path? Brace yourself, because once Mamoswine starts stomping, there's no escape. Hi, it's me, PokeStrive, and today we're gonna talk about Mamoswine takes over Pokémon Unite battles. Mamoswine is quickly rising in popularity as players discover its incredible ability to control fights and dominate the battlefield. With its relentless crowd control, tanky resilience, and disruptive power, this icy beast isn't just a wall, it's a playmaker that can single-handedly turn the tide of battle. Whether it's freezing enemies, tossing them around, or bulldozing through team fights, Mamoswine is proving to be a force to be reckoned with. More players are picking it up, and its impact on the game is only getting stronger. Mamoswine is quickly becoming a dominant force in Pokémon Unite, and players are starting to realize just how impactful this icy tank can be. Known for its incredible crowd control and durability, Mamoswine thrives in the heat of battle, disrupting enemies and setting up plays for its team. Unlike some defenders who focus purely on soaking up damage, Mamoswine actively controls the flow of fights, freezing opponents in place, shoving them into danger, and stomping through the battlefield like an unstoppable force. Its ability to constantly apply pressure makes it a nightmare for squishy attackers and aggressive speedsters who rely on mobility to escape danger. As more players experiment with Mamoswine, its popularity continues to rise, especially among those who enjoy a more aggressive, playmaking defender. Moves like Ice Fang and High Horsepower allow it to displace key targets, forcing enemies into bad positions while also dealing respectable damage. Meanwhile, its passive ability slows and freezes enemies with boosted attacks, making it even harder for opponents to escape its relentless pursuit. This combination of bulk, disruption, and consistent pressure makes Mamoswine a versatile pick that can fit into many team compositions, whether it's leading the charge or holding down objectives. With its growing presence in both casual and ranked matches, Mamoswine is proving to be one of the most underrated yet powerful defenders in the game. Players who once overlooked it for more traditional tanks are now recognizing its potential to not only absorb hits but completely take over fights. If you're looking for a defender that brings both chaos and control, Mamoswine might just be the perfect pick to shake up your battles and dominate the competition. While Mamoswine is a powerhouse in Pokémon Unite, mastering it comes with its own set of challenges. One of the biggest hurdles players face is team coordination. Unlike some defenders that can passively hold the front lines, Mamoswine relies heavily on follow-ups from teammates to maximize its disruptive potential. Moves like Ice Fang and High Horsepower can isolate enemies, but if the team isn't ready to capitalize, those plays can go to waste. Mamoswine excels when paired with aggressive teammates who can quickly burst down the frozen or displaced targets, but in solo queue, where coordination is unpredictable, this can be a major struggle. Another challenge is knowing when to engage and when to hold back. Mamoswine may be tanky, but it isn't invincible. Diving in recklessly without backup can lead to getting overwhelmed and taken down before making an impact. Proper positioning is key, as Mamoswine needs to be in the thick of the fight to use its abilities effectively, but overcommitting can leave it exposed. Players must learn to read the battlefield, choosing the right moments to initiate while ensuring their team is in position to follow up. Mamoswine's early game performance can feel underwhelming compared to other defenders. Since it starts as a small swinub and takes time to evolve, it lacks the immediate impact that some other tanks bring from the start. Players need to survive the early game, focusing on farming and reaching their power spikes at level 6, Piloswine, and level 9, Mamoswine, to truly start making a difference. Without proper leveling, Mamoswine can struggle to be as effective in crucial late-game fights. Overcoming these challenges requires patience, smart play, and synergy with the team, but once mastered, Mamoswine becomes an unstoppable force capable of taking over battles. Another challenge with Mamoswine lies in managing its cooldowns and abilities effectively. While its moves can wreak havoc on enemy teams, they require precise timing to maximize their effectiveness. Ice Fang and High Horsepower both have significant cooldowns, so using them at the wrong moment can leave Mamoswine vulnerable when the enemy pushes back. Players need to be strategic, holding onto these abilities for key moments like engaging the enemy's backline or countering a strong attacker. Additionally, Mamoswine's basic attacks also play a crucial role in its effectiveness, as its passive ability, Thick Fat, slows and freezes enemies with boosted basic attacks. This requires a balance between using abilities and weaving in auto attacks to keep enemies in check, adding another layer of complexity to its gameplay. Mastering these mechanics takes time and precision, but when done right, Mamoswine can become an unmovable force that turns the tide of battle. Mamoswine's strengths lie in its unmatched ability to disrupt the battlefield. As a defender, it excels in crowd control, making it a nightmare for enemy attackers and speedsters. Moves like Ice Fang can grab and toss enemies, positioning them for quick elimination by teammates, while High Horsepower delivers a devastating area of effect, AoE, knockback, stunning multiple foes at once. These abilities allow Mamoswine to control the flow of team fights, preventing opponents from easily escaping or making plays. Its tankiness is another major strength, with high durability that lets it withstand enemy attacks and stay in the fight long enough to create chaos. When paired with a well-coordinated team, Mamoswine can function as both a disruptor and a bulwark, handling both offensive and defensive roles with ease. However, Mamoswine's weaknesses often stem from its reliance on team coordination. While it's capable of causing havoc, its disruptive abilities are most effective when followed up by teammates, and without that support, Mamoswine can feel underwhelming. Its early game is also a challenge, as it starts off slow and requires farming to reach its full potential. During the early stages of the game, Mamoswine's basic attacks and abilities don't have the same impact as more mobile or aggressive Pokémon, which can leave it vulnerable to more aggressive attackers. Additionally, its mobility is somewhat limited, making it susceptible to being kited by faster, ranged Pokémon who can keep their distance and avoid its devastating stomps. Top players often showcase Mamoswine's strategic value through precise ability timing and positioning. They capitalize on Mamoswine's crowd control potential by waiting for key moments to initiate fights, often engaging after their teammates have dealt damage or when the enemy team has committed to their own abilities. One common strategy involves using Ice Fang to isolate an enemy attacker and then following up with High Horsepower to disrupt the enemy's backline. In addition, experienced Mamoswine players are meticulous about using their Thick Fat passive, ensuring their basic attacks slow and freeze enemies at the right times. In team fights, they're careful to use their cooldowns wisely, making sure they're not caught out without the tools they need to engage or disengage. Finally, gameplay clips from top players often highlight how Mamoswine shines in late-game team fights. Once it reaches level 9 and evolves into Mamoswine, its impact becomes undeniable. Players often charge into the fray with High Horsepower, stunning multiple enemies, followed by Ice Fang to lock down key targets. These clips also emphasize the importance of map control, with Mamoswine excelling at contesting objectives like Zapdos, thanks to its ability to hold the enemy team back while securing crucial points. In these high-stakes moments, the power of Mamoswine's abilities can completely alter the outcome of the game, proving that when played correctly, it's a game-changer. Mamoswine's impact on Pokémon Unite battles is undeniable, with its powerful crowd control, tankiness, and ability to disrupt entire enemy teams. Mastering its gameplay requires understanding the importance of team coordination, precise ability timing, and positioning, as its true potential shines when paired with teammates who can capitalize on its disruptions. From its early game challenges to its late game domination, Mamoswine is a force that can turn the tide of any battle, if played effectively. But to truly unlock its power, players must learn to balance aggression and defense, manage its cooldowns, and strategically control the battlefield. If you've tried Mamoswine yourself, let me know your experiences in the comments below. How do you use its abilities to carry your team? And don't forget to check out my other Pokémon Unite videos for more tips, strategies, and gameplay insights that will help you become a better player.